Hello everybody. We're going to see if we can't jam one more quick game here before bed, what I hope will be a quick game. So I am liking the looks of this hand. Gives us a little bit of everything we could possibly want, just about. So we will be here on the draw, and we will keep. Okay, so we might lose some of our goodies here by the looks of things. Yes. They might be able to take our Serum Visions. They can't take our Spirit, so. Back again with Esper Myth in the Ice, of course. That didn't go without saying. That, or of course, well, I assume they're going to take the Serum Visions, just to kind of cut down on some of our options, but if they have a threat that they want to protect, then they're going to start taking, okay, looks like they're going to go for some of our removal here. So we'll just leave this up. The only reason I didn't track this is I still really have no idea what we're up against. Could be any number of decks. And until I have a little more information, I'm going to want to hold on to these. So I guess we'll get a Hallowed Fountain here. Okay. Thought Scours, 4 days. So I'm gonna, yeah, we'll continue to just hold off here. We'll Thought Scour on a turn and grab this one, Watery Grave. Okay, this could be tokens, could be the Gideon deck, could be okay. Mardu Pyromancer it is. So we're definitely going to be looking for some ways to interact with our opponent here. And Lingering Souls would be one card that I think could potentially slot into this deck, although I'm not crazy about its interaction with Thing in the Ice, of course, but I'm just going to hit some land drops here so we can start. I think it doesn't. I don't really think it matters. I'm going to hit some land drops here so we can start getting some of our mana base built up, hopefully for some bigger cards. Alright, and we went ahead and milled our Watery Grave, so we're just going to get another one of these. Okay, there's a path. Guess I'll leave this up to fetch a, I know it's kind of a non-bow, but we're just going to try and cycle some of these Serum Visions. Darkslick Shores, okay. Do not need that. And I think I will keep this on top for now. We can fetch it away if we decide that we don't want it. Did I play the land for turn? Yes. Okay. So we'll pass right like this. Okay, let's mill first and then go, so. Their opponent doesn't have a huge haymaker here. Okay, so he's got the young Pyromancer. Now he will get to get some right now. Do I want to hit this guy with the Fatal Push or with the Path to Exile? So he could bring it back potentially with Kolaghan's Command later. He's already up to 4 lands, so for that reason, I think I'm going to use this here and not worry too much about it. So he will get a token, but I guess I could kill the token here as well, but I'm not too worried about that token as of right now anyway. And I do want to draw this Creeping Tar Pit, because I want a way to threaten their Planeswalkers eventually, if this is the build that runs them. So in case they land Liliana or something like that, so we're going to get an island and crack off another Serum Visions. Just going to churn through our deck, looking for some interaction. So the Vent I will put to the bottom, and we'll keep the Stubborn Denial, I suppose. Although it's going to be probably a little dead for a while. We'll go ahead and pass like this. It's going to be somewhat difficult to keep this thing in the ice alive, I think. Their deck just has so much removal. Granted, we dodge Lightning Bolt, but we get hit by Fatal Push, Path to Exile, and Terminate. So, yeah, it's not looking great. Alright, so we're going to go for the flashback on the Faithless Looting. Improve the quality of their hand a little bit. They might be able to play a Bedlam Reveler. In which case, if they do play a Bedlam Reveler, which if they discarded one, they probably can. Alright, so we'll draw the Stubborn Denial for now. And we'll just plan on double Thought Scouring ourselves at the end of turn. This is just power, right? Yes, okay. So it's only power. I'm not in a hurry to get this killed or anything. So we'll Thought Scour in response to this Lightning Bolt for no real reason, but we don't have a lot going on in our hand, so okay. Non-creature spell. That's the big one. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure whether this is going to have a use until we can get maybe a Delve threat on the table. That's pretty much what we're waiting for, so. Just a second, young Pyromancer. Right, I'll Slot Scare myself again. I think our. Okay, there it is, Collective Brutality thing. Slot Scare Snapcaster. Okay, so that's still in the deck. The spell Snare is. Right, let's see what's going on. Might be able to just empty their hand here. Perhaps Kolaghan's Command make us return, and then they can return the Reveler from the graveyard to their hand. If they do that, we will definitely Stubborn Denial Kolaghan's Command here. I don't think we can afford to get 2 for 1. Alright. So they get a token, but we will get a target for that Kolaghan's Command. And hopefully whatever the last card is, we can take it. Hopefully it's not a Bedlam Reveler. That would be very unfortunate. Oh, a Dreadbore. Okay. So, let's see. There's second island in the graveyard. So we have a Plains in here we can get yet. So we're going to grab a Plains. And Serum Visions. Okay, so Shambling Vent, Myth Realized. I think I want both of these. And we are going to play out the thing in the ice, because it's going to be up to them to top deck next turn. So we're going to go top, top, and if they just so happen to top deck a thing to kill, card to kill our thing in the ice, well then I guess they got us. This is another matchup that I really enjoy. I like the interactive games, and this is kind of the knock them down, drag them out kind of magic that I really enjoy. So we will block. We're a long ways away from flipping this thing in the ice, and if they have a Lightning Bolt, well, they have a Lightning Bolt. We're going to try and start preserving our life total a little bit, because it's going to become relevant. Alright, so we'll play out our Myth here. Play our Shambling Vent. And when I was originally thinking of this deck, I was thinking about adding a card like goodness, I can't think of the name. We're gonna swing in. We're gonna swing with the Tar Pit. Or use the Tar Pit to block. Or no, wait, the Tar Pit to block. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Think twice. I was looking for cards that we could play out of our own graveyard and ice. There seems to be a few hitting land drops doesn't really seem to be a problem for this deck like I thought it might be. So if they attack with the Pyromancer here, that means that they probably have a removal spell for this, but I think we're just gonna go for it anyway, because we can't take too much more damage here. So yep, looks like they drew something, and it looks like we'll go down to Tar Pit, but that might potentially leave up our Shambling Vent to block on the next turn, so I'm fine with that. So he's going to return the Bedlam Reveler, 2 damage to the Tar Pit. Okay, yep. This is going to be a difficult game to win. I'm going to chance the block here again. So we do have board wipes. They're all in the sideboard, though. Okay, so there's the Reveler. Draws 3 cards. Things are not looking good. Ah, boy. So we will pass with our blockers up and see what we can do. To go for a main phase spell, we can get this spell snare in there. I don't think we're going to live long enough to do much this game. So we're just swing with everything, and we're probably going to lose a significant amount of... Okay, so they definitely have removal, probably multiple forms of removal for our blockers here, but we gotta just kind of go for it. So why don't we put... let's go to blocks, I don't think. So we do have enough mana up. We can put a counter on the Myth. We can... Okay, so Fatal Push on that guy. So I think we're dead then. Gets a token. Alright, so we get to go to blocks. Now, if I want to activate this, I have to do it right now, but it'll just die. So we have to chump. We have to chump the Reveler. So we gain 2 this way. We still take a bunch. Nope, I want to block that. But then before damage, I'm going to... No, I guess we'll just keep the... We'll just keep that up to put a token on, but I also want to spell snare in case he's got like a lightning helix or something as the last card. I imagine he's got like a bolt or something. No? Okay, so what do we got? A Jace. Don't think Jace is going to do it for us here. Don't even know if I want to show him the Jace. So we'll just concede and go to the next game. Okay, so Rest in Peace is pretty good. Path of God seems pretty good. Spell seems alright. Engineered Explosives. So I think we're going to go down the Spellskite, because he's going to have ways to Kolaghan's Command. I think we're going to go down the targeted discard here. going to be difficult to get. I think our goal here is to try and land one of these bad boys. So we're going to cut. I'm going to cut a couple things in the ice. They're just too. Now you could bring in like Wear Tear. I think the things in the ice are just kind of almost a liability. They're just a little slow for the amount of removal that he's got. So tell you what, why don't we get on one more and bring in another Collective Brutality because it kills Pyromancer. And we'll go like this. Alright, yep, let's see what we can do. Now, I need to remember that something I always forget when I play this deck is that they play Goblin Rabblemaster and they play Kambal. So, glad we're bringing in the sweepers and then we still have all of our spot removal. I feel like this deck's probably pretty even. Sorry, this matchup is probably pretty even. Let's see. We'll go ahead and imagine that something somewhere along the lines is going to get taken, but that's fine. We will top and top. Like having the paths and the removal for his Pyromancers and his Revelers and things like that, so. Okay. No play from our opponent. We will not pay 2 life. Again, if he does bring in something like Kambal or the Rabblemaster, our life is going to become very relevant very quickly. So we want to stay as healthy as we can. No turn 1 discard is also kind of nice. Basic Mountain. Looks like he's on the Blood Moon plan, which is something that we are not really prepared to deal with, unfortunately. My initial draft of this deck had a Celestial Purge in the sideboard, so the fact that he's going after that Thoughtseize here, yeah, really makes me think that he's got a Blood Moon. So I'm going to risk going without black mana here for a little bit. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I have a bad feeling about this. Yep, we're gonna get Blood Moon right here. And there it is. Okay, so our outs to this are very minimal. I think we're gonna get the Swamp here because we technically have a higher % chance to draw the planes, and if we do draw the planes, we could draw Engineered Explosives, which is pretty much our only out. So yeah, we'll get the Swamp. We're not going to like it, but we're going to do it. We're going to Thought Scour ourselves. And we can't draw. There goes our Elspeth. So, and one of our planes. So yeah, things have gotten quite bad. Oh, salt in the wound. Alright, so our opponent's deck will still function and ours will not. And now we can settle in for whatever may come. And this was always the big issue with Esper in Modern was that Blood Moon was just always such an absolute beating. I also had a mind to put an Esper Charm in here. Okay, so that's something we can actually do and keep up a Dispel. So we're gonna do that, and if this isn't enough to win, then we're just not gonna win. So I think that's pretty much where we're at. This is the best we can hope to do under these circumstances, and if this isn't good enough, then we're just gonna lose. So if this is a path here, we can get it with a Dispel, but they're probably just gonna start playing like Lingering Souls, and then they'll have all these blockers and things. So we will. Wow, 2 Wear Tears. Yep. So there comes the Lingering Souls. We're just gonna have to start grinding through them. Maybe we'll draw another Dispel. Maybe we'll draw some Stubborn Denials. These are not helping at all. So we're just gonna ride the T train here for as long as fate will permit us to do so. So yeah, fingers crossed. They have 10,000 chump blockers ready to go, but we'll see if we can get there. I do think Celestial Purge is definitely a card. Probably 2. 2 is probably the right number. Again, just because of how horrible Blood Moon is against these Esper decks. It's always been big thorn in my side. Yep, I will take a damage, sir. So he's got something up his sleeve here. Got the flashback on standby. Okay. Sideboard. So there's not really anything we could have done here to avoid maybe the Blood Moon, except the targeted discard. Maybe that's an argument for keeping targeted discard in there. Now they're gonna get our Dispel. So the wheels are definitely falling off, unfortunately. But it was good while it lasted. Okay, another blue source. That'll come in handy. Maybe. So now we do have a Tasigur activation up with this, so we will get some sort of value off of Tasigur, the Scourge of flying spirit tokens. Alright, and there's the Reveler. So, in response, he's got to give us something. Probably the Spell Snare, because he can play around that the most easily. Yeah, this guy got me good the other week. It's one of those cards that I kind of assumed that I knew what it did, but I missed the back half of him there, with the fact that it's a drain effect and not just a damage effect. So our opponent's thinking long and hard about this, and again, I don't think there's too much. Yeah, that's what I figured. So we get a Spell Snare that we have to pretty much give our opponent a free Lightning Helix to use. So okay, found another mountain. So I guess we'll go ahead and pass the turn here. Things are not looking too great. I used to have kind of a a love-hate relationship with Blood Moon. Anymore, it's kind of just a hate relationship, because I think some of the arguments that people make for... Alright, so we're going to get a myth realized here. We can't cast. That's fun. Some of the arguments that people make for it, they say like that it keeps people's mana bases honest and things like that. I just don't agree with that necessarily. I mean, yeah, we're playing 3-color deck. It's a little greedy, but I think that a card that would be better for the format overall would be Back to Basics, actually. I think that that's a much healthier card, for lack of a better term. So we pretty much need an Angler here to kind of, and even then we're not in the game, because, well, okay, it is an Angler. It is indeed an Angler. So we will just do what we can. Just going to leave that in there. Just in case we draw a Snapcaster or something and it becomes relevant, that we could possibly bring it back. So, Spell Snare, we can tag a Terminate, we can tag a sorry, blanking on the name. It's been a really long day. The other, Dreadbore. But, of course, it'll cost us 2 life to do so. At which point we're, well, I mean, one way or another, we're pretty much dead on board, so. This is just a non-creature, okay. Opponent's going to get to sculpt their hand a little bit more here. Get rid of some of those crappy cards, keep the good stuff. So the Faithless Looting is the brainstorm of Modern, and at this point, I don't think I could possibly disagree with that statement. Okay, so he gets to Inquisition, and probably takes our Spell Snare, since it's the only card we can cast. Kills our Gurmag Angler, and then that'll be the end of the game. I do still enjoy this matchup for a non-blue deck. I think that Mardu Pyromancer is probably one of the cooler ones out there. So let's see. I guess we pretty much have to cash in the Angler, but without access to white mana, we need one of our planes, and even that won't hardly save us. Because by the time we could potentially deal with this guy, you know, we still need another white source for the other guy, and then we're just dead on board. So, well, we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's Jace. That's a Jace, and that'll deal us 2 damage. So, play Jace drops us to 4. Doesn't do any good bouncing this, which is the really obnoxious part about this card, in my opinion. Yeah. Bouncing a Spirit doesn't do anything. It's going to get us for 4, so looks like this one goes to our opponent. But again, I do like that matchup. I think it's a fun one. Blood Moon is kind of an unfortunate card to be in the format at this point, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of people that disagree with me, and I maybe could have played around it a little bit better. But yeah, it is what it is, and that's just what happens when the Esper deck runs up against Modern's favorite 3-mana red enchantment. So, actually, right now, before I forget, we are going to tweak the sideboard a little bit here to get one of those in here. So we're going to get rid of this Thoughtseize. And Maybe one other card. Maybe we'll try one for now. So that way we at least just have un-out to those situations. So pop that into the sideboard, and there we go. So that was another test game there with Esper, Myth in the Ice. Again, the deck tech should be up on the channel. You can go watch that at your leisure if you're interested in this archetype. It's definitely something I want to keep working on a little bit. That game, I seem to draw a lot of Thought Scours. Maybe we don't need this many Thought Scours. I'm still kind of getting a feel for it. I felt like I didn't have enough action spells for this thing in the ice. So maybe go down a couple Thought Scours and maybe go up some more types of interaction. Let's get rid of 2 of these. Let me put 2 Remands in there just for next time. A little something to kind of trip our opponents up, set them back a little bit. And Remand also has some interesting plays we can do on our own spells when it comes to Thing in the Ice. For example, you could cast a Path to Exile at your Thing in the Ice, or even an opponent's creature, remand it back to your hand, so that's 2 counters off, and then cast the Path again, and get that last counter off there, or an additional counter off, I guess I should say. So I did have a remand in the original draft, and it kind of got cut before I really started playing the deck at all, but that was pretty cool. Pretty lucky to draw both of these in that game, so kind of gave us at least a little bit of a hope. But Lingering Souls is a heck of a card, and again, it's another card I could see playing in this archetype. I especially like it because of the flashback, but again, it's kind of a non-bow with Thing in the Ice. So what I will probably do at some point is test a version of this deck with Think Twice in it, and probably go up a couple Think Twice, go down, or maybe cut all of the Thought Scours, the other 2 Thought Scours, replace them with 2 Think Twice, and then cut some of these, since we're not turboing our graveyard with Thought Scours anymore, and probably replace one of these with a land, and the other one with a sweeper, probably a Subtle Wreckage in the main deck. Just something so that we can have an out to those big creature decks. But so yeah, there we go. That is Esper, Myth in the Ice. So if you like this deck, be sure to let me know in the comments below. We can discuss its development and everything. If there's a list you've had that's similar to it, I could maybe even give that a spin. Although I will say some of the cards that I don't own online are Liliana's, and if I had them, I think I would probably put maybe a 1-1 split between the main deck and the sideboard of Liliana Last Hope, just because that's a really good card, but they're kind of pricey online, and I just have some other financial obligations right now that I can't. I spent some money on the channel recently, so I won't be spending any more for the time being. But that's definitely a card that I would like to slot in here and test if possible. So, alrighty, well, thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.